Is saying no is difficult for you? Or you can't stop thinking what people will think after doing your will's thing? Or you find answer of this, but tired of self-help fluff that promises rainbows and unicorns, but leaves you feeling empty inside? Well, get ready to throw out those clichés, because Mark Manson isn't your typical self-help guru. He's not here to coddle your feelings or sugarcoat the harsh realities of life. No, he's here to drop some truth bombs and kick you into gear. But don't let the title fool you. This isn't about apathy or indifference. It's about reclaiming your power, focusing on what truly matters, and learning to give a fuck about the things that actually deserve it. So let's open the pages of this masterpiece in an interesting way, starting from part 1, which is Don't Try. Manson begins by challenging the pervasive idea that we should always strive for happiness and success. He argues that constantly pursuing happiness can lead to more frustration and dissatisfaction. Instead, he suggests that we should embrace the concept of radical acceptance, accepting the inevitability of pain and suffering in life. Manson introduces the idea of the feedback loop from hell, where our constant pursuit of happiness leads to greater unhappiness when we inevitably fail to achieve it. Manson shares his own experience of pursuing success as a rock musician, only to realize that it brought him more stress and anxiety than fulfillment. He illustrates how chasing external validation can lead to a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. Part 2, Happiness is a Problem. In this section, Manson challenges the notion that happiness should be our primary goal in life. He argues that pursuing happiness for its own sake can actually make us more unhappy in the long run. Manson introduces the concept of negative visualization, a stoic practice of imagining the worst-case scenario to prepare for adversity. By accepting that life is inherently unpredictable and embracing the possibility of failure, we can become more resilient and better equipped to handle life's challenges. Manson shares the story of a friend who was diagnosed with a terminal illness. Despite facing death, his friend found a sense of peace and acceptance, realizing that happiness is not contingent on external circumstances, but on how we choose to perceive and respond to them. Part 3 is that you are not special. Manson challenges the idea that everyone is unique and destined for greatness. He argues that our obsession with individuality and specialness can lead to entitlement and narcissism. Instead, Manson advocates for embracing our limitations and focusing on what we can control. He introduces the concept of the backwards law, which states that the more we pursue something, the less likely we are to achieve it. By letting go of the need to be special or extraordinary, we can find greater fulfillment in the ordinary moments of life. Manson shares the story of a young man who dreams of becoming a famous actor, but fails to achieve success despite years of effort. Through this example, Manson illustrates how our obsession with greatness can blind us to the value of simply being ourselves and finding contentment in the present moment. Part 4, The Value of Suffering. In this section, Manson explores the role of suffering in shaping our identity and values. He argues that embracing our struggles and hardships can lead to personal growth and self-discovery. Manson introduces the concept of the backwards law, which states that the more we pursue something, the less likely we are to achieve it. By letting go of the need to be special or extraordinary, we can find greater fulfillment in the ordinary moments of life. Manson shares the story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who found meaning and purpose in the midst of unimaginable suffering. Despite facing extreme adversity, Frankl maintained a sense of hope and resilience by focusing on the values that mattered most to him. Through this example, Manson illustrates how suffering can lead to profound personal transformation and spiritual growth. Part 5, The Importance of Saying No. In this section, Manson explores the power of setting boundaries and saying no to the things that don't align with our values. He argues that our ability to say no is essential for maintaining our mental and emotional well-being. Manson introduces the concept of the law of avoidance, which states that the more we try to avoid something, the more it controls us. By learning to confront our fears and limitations, we can reclaim control over our lives and prioritize what truly matters. Here he shares the story of a woman who struggles to say no to her demanding boss, leading to burnout and resentment. Through this example, Manson illustrates how our inability to set boundaries can negatively impact our relationships and overall quality of life. Part 6 is The Importance of Choosing What to Care About. In the final section, Manson emphasizes the importance of prioritizing our values and choosing what to care about. He argues that our attention is finite and that we should invest it wisely in the things that truly matter to us. Manson introduces the concept of the backwards law, which states that the more we pursue something, the less likely we are to achieve it. By letting go of the need to be special or extraordinary, we can find greater fulfillment in the ordinary moments of life. For this, he shares the story of a man who spends his life chasing material possessions and external validation, only to realize on his deathbed that he wasted his time on things that didn't bring him true happiness. Through this example, Manson illustrates how our values shape our priorities and ultimately determine the quality of our lives. That was all from the words of author. Now let's talk about lessons we can learn from this book. Number 1. You don't get a trophy for participation in life. Happiness comes from choosing your struggles and solving them, not avoiding problems altogether. Number 2. Stop chasing positive emotions and accept that negative feelings are a natural part of life. They can even guide you towards what truly matters. Number 3. Ditch the idea of being special. We're all flawed, and embracing your messiness is more freeing than striving for unrealistic perfection. Number 4. Failure is inevitable, but it's not the end. It's the stepping stone to growth and finding the right path for you. Number 5. Choose your fucks wisely. You have limited energy for what matters. Don't waste it on things you can't control or that don't truly serve you. That was all for today. We hope this video will help you. Thanks for watching.